All right, welcome back. It's Q3, week 2, day 3. She's got legs. Today we're going to make pants for our model. Um, Number one, we've already got the sort of hot pants, the short pants that we made already, the cutoff jeans. So we're going to extrude out to make the rest of it. Now, we're going to follow along with our model that we already have. So we've got this, and if you hit left, notice that this is a slightly different piece of art than I was using at the beginning of the last video. I went ahead and fixed it in Photoshop and then rotated the plane back around. Just make sure you stick with whatever consistent art you were using before, and that will be fine. I went ahead and made this one so that there wouldn't be any more confusion about that. Anyway, so you can see I've mirrored the art, so it's facing the other direction, and I've made sure it works better. Anyway, it doesn't really matter because what we're going to do now is we're going to select our bottom edge here, and then we're going to continue extruding out. So we're going to select those bottom faces, hit left, and continue extruding out. Now, generally, that's our job. We're going to extrude out, and click OK, and then move it. Now, we need to sort of figure out where our knee is. In my opinion, the knee is roughly here. You may think it's here because that's where the pants sort of have an indent, but in reality, I'm pretty sure it's closer to there. Otherwise, I'd have a really short thigh, and we don't want that. So I'm going to go ahead and get to this point and hit R, and I'm going to rescale this evenly like that. Now, if you don't follow the pant leg absolutely, that's not a problem. If you hit front, now the problem is we try and adjust this. If you're trying to adjust them both and you're rescaling them, you're going to have a really hard time because when you want to move them closer together or further apart, you're not going to be able to do that very effectively. So what you're going to have to do, and you're going to do this a lot on this project, is you're going to highlight half of your model and delete it. That way you can work with just one set of vertices at a time. This will make your life a lot easier. So I hit W, and I move this over, and that's sort of where that's going to lie. I hit the number 1 so I can adjust verts, and I'm going to move all of these verts over a little bit too. There. Okay, now this is going to mean that when I actually finish the other side of my model, my legs are going to be pretty close together, and that's going to be okay. It's not ideal, but it's going to be all right. We'll make it. It'll be okay. All right, great. So once I've got that, now, like I said, the knee is basically on this line right here, which let's go ahead and drag it down to roughly there. I think that's about where my knee is. In the left view, let's see, front. Yeah, probably about halfway through. So roughly about there. What I like to do is sort of decide where my knee is and then create one of my first edges there, and then I will split the difference later. Okay, and I can move it a little bit like this and move it back way. Now you'll notice that I've got this area here that could come in some. I could just hit the number 2, grab edges, insert a loop, and then rescale that loop in some. Hit W to move it, and move it to there. And I could even move it up a little bit from the front. There you go. I'm going to grab that so I get just that front, and then I could rescale this in as well. All right, cool. So we're going to keep doing that. I'm going to grab this face, hit front, and then extrude it down. Left. I don't know why I'm getting that on this particular project. It's been very strange, but it's not that big of a deal. Like how it sort of juts out to the front like that. I'm not quite sure that's going on. Also, while you're building your character, if you want to adjust geometry and not follow the concept art just, like slavishly, you can. Okay, so if you want to make something look a little easier to model, like this sort of wrinkle in the pants, I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to fake that in a better way so that I can sort of have more control over it. And I'll do that actually right now. Basically, I'm going to pretend that that's not actually like that. And you'll see in the front view. But first I want to adjust this some more. Expand it out that way. Take this, move it forward, and expand it out forward, hit front. So that's pretty good. This needs to come in a bunch and move over some. Oops. There. Once again, you may or may not actually be following along with this. I'll move it like that. Left view, so W, because your model is slightly different. I'm going to actually create a little bit of a lip here, just to sort of make this look a little better. Now from the front it may look a little weird, but that's okay. Basically it follows the shape. Now when it comes to actually creating the knee, this is probably the hardest part, and at least the most important part that we need to make sure we do well, because the knee will determine how our model moves. And we want to make sure that it works well. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to outline the knee a little bit. Pull that in some. Once again, I'm not too worried about being 100% accurate with how this is laid out, as long as it's close. All right, W. There we go. W. All right, cool. All right, I think I may have two pant legs there, but it doesn't matter. We'll go with it. Okay, from the front, looks okay. All right, so what I'm most concerned about now is how the deformation of the leg works. Here's where I would take you to PolyCount, but I'm at school and the website is blocked. So what I've done is I've downloaded, luckily, the files that we're going to need anyway. So I'm going to pull up that 5. So we talked about this. So when we have adjustments and we have things that need to move, we need to make sure that we create the geometry so it will deform properly. On this website, wiki.polycount.com/wiki/limb topology, there's a bunch of really great information that shows how limbs need to deform and what happens when they look poorly. So if I could, I would show it to you now, but since I can't, we're not going to. But ultimately, what we're going to do is we're going to create this sort of piece here. We're going to create, we have a limb, or 3 loops, 1, 2, 3, around the knee. And we're going to remove this back loop and then create this shape here. Now, I'm going to sort of do that so you can see it. This is another view of the exact same thing with that shape. Now what this does is it makes it look really good for how, when you bend the knee, how it's going to look. Okay, so let's do that. So we've got 3 around the knee, front. So this is our 3 here. This is our 3. Because we said that's our knee. Move that down a little bit. Squeeze it in. Left. W. It'd be nice if I had shorts on, but whatever. Let's go ahead and move all of it down then. So we want to focus on where the knee is, and that's roughly there. Good enough. All right, so we'll move those down, just get them out of the way. Left. Okay, cool. It kind of looks, in a way, that kind of looks better. All right, cool. So this is our knee. So what we're going to do is we're going to think about that topology we talked about a minute ago. So generally, let me create this and zoom in on it. And then move over to the one we want, which is this one. So we've got these two. Right? We want to have this back one sort of cut in like this, which we can easily do. All right? So we need to attach these two and these two, and then we can get rid of that. So let's do it. I'm going to put another material on here so we can see better. All right. So we want to attach from here, from there to there, and there to there. So we can actually do all of them at the same time, I think. And hit attach or connect. There we go. Perfect. By doing that, we can then take this and remove it, which isn't enough. We still got to get rid of the verts themselves. Remove. Okay. That's not enough because we created an n-gon, so now we need to connect these two. Connect and connect. There. So that's what we want. Where's our image? All right. That's the basic idea. What that'll do, really, I should probably have done it over or up further and have more space back there, but my model has more edges than their model, since our leg has like 10 sides and theirs only has 8, I think. But ultimately, you're just going to have to make sure that there's some space back here, because this is what you want. You want this one big piece of geometry that is going to squish. And when it squishes and bends, it's going to look better than if it wasn't. It's hard to show you right now, but I'll try. So it would kind of bend like this, kind of. And it would crash together, but it would crash together in a way that makes more sense. All right? So let me open up the one I finished. Let's see, this is day 3, and let's see. Okay. Open. Yeah, open. Okay. So this is the one I built from, and you can see this is where I put my geometry edges here from the front. There we go. And we're ready to go. So this is where you will end up with something along those lines. The only difference is make sure you make a lip for the bottom of whatever clothing you're wearing on the bottom. So this is actually a pretty simple process. I actually have a hole here, but you would have your inset and then you'd extrude up and in. And it doesn't have to be, you know, all the way up to the thigh or anything like that. Obviously, you're going to fake it. There'll be a lot of stuff on this where we just fake it so that it works okay. All right, I think that's it, and I will see you tomorrow when we are going to work on shoes. All right, the shoes are going to be pretty easy to do, actually. So this week we've got a lot of things we're doing, but it's pretty easy. Look at how the topology works, especially how you've got this extra space back here and an extra bend here. And I think that'll help you out. Once again, go to wiki.polycount.com/wiki/limb topology, because there's tons of great references and much more explanation on how the actual bending should work. All right. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.